Welcome back to the home of NBA nerds. Now, some time has passed after the draft. I just want to give my overall winners for the draft. Not necessarily who are the best players, but more so who got like the steals of the draft, who just got good value, good fits, who pulled off some trades that fleeced other teams. Probably guess who. Overall, who just had the best two nights. With that being said, leave a like, subscribe if you're a fan of this type of content, and just enjoy this video. First up, we got the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's pretty simple. They got Cooper Flag. I know it's not a big achievement or anything. They got the number one pick, basically the side of the lottery. But I'm just happy as a Mavs fan that Nico Harrison didn't fuck up this pick. He picked Cooper Flag, did the right thing. I think he'll be an amazing player. They go out with the best player in the draft and a future All-Star. Secondly, I also want to focus on, even though this technically isn't the draft, they did sign Ryan Nembhard to a two-way. I thought he was going to be drafted. And I think he could really have an NBA career. I think he could sign a standard contract if he impresses in the summer league and in training camp for the Mavs. I think it would really help their team. He's amazing at playmaking. He can set up Dallas's bigs like Gafford, Lively, AD. Just a good choice. Next up, we got Young Hansen. I was in shock when he got drafted. It was 3 a.m. for me, and that pick woke me the fuck up. It's an intriguing upside pick. That's all it is. He's been mocked as baby Jokic because of his like skill and size, and there's just the frame he has. And it's an upside pick. It's the first one of those like clones that the NBA team tries to copy a pre-existing player. It happened a lot with Giannis, where people took just size and speed, and it happened with Jokic now for the first time ever. I pray Portland now finally trades DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams so he can actually get some minutes. And Portland now has some really big center play. I think it's a reach for them, but I'm really happy for Young Hansen. You could see it. He got drafted. He wasn't even in the green room. He was sitting in the stands, and just amazing. Amazing for him, in my opinion. Next up, my next winners are Miami Heat and Kasparis Yakushonis. I think it's a win-win situation for both team and player. Kasparis was my 8th ranked prospect in this draft, and I think the Heat getting him at 20 is an absolute steal. Kasparis, I think it's a great fit for the Heat. I think he even has the potential to be a day one starter as a point guard, as they're really lacking, only really having Davion Mitchell, but I see him more as a coming off the bench, sort of like defense playmaker style, kind of the Alex Caruso mold, if you will. And I think Kasparis, the Heat need him. He can benefit from playing alongside Ware, Adebayo, Hero. He can set them up. He won't have a huge scoring weight. And I think it's just a good fit for both, and I see them as both going out as winners of the draft. Next up, I have the San Antonio Spurs. Not only they drafted Dylan Harper at 2, it was the obvious pick, clear best player in the draft. Even though the fit in San Antonio is kind of rough, I think it's still the right decision. And I think he can be the long-term point guard answer for them. Then, as well, they picked at pick 14, Carter Bryant. I expected him to go a little higher. He wasn't an impactful college player, or scratch that. He was impactful, but he didn't have a big role in college. He wasn't a productive college player. And I expected him to go somewhere higher, to the Raptors or the Bulls, maybe. And maybe he doesn't have an impact right away in the league, but I think he could be a perfect complement along all their guards and along Victor Wembanyama. He's a big 3-and-D wing with explosive athleticism, something every team needs. I think he's potentially a great stretch four. I think it's a good fit, and he can be the long-term replacement for Harrison Barnes in San Antonio. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks. Now hear me out. Yes, they traded away that pick to Boston to Nets, scratch that, in the Porzingis deal. And they traded down from pick 13 to pick 23. But they really won that trade. That pick between Milwaukee or New Orleans could be extremely valuable next year. It could be a potential lottery, a top 5 pick, and it's just overall great deal. And them drafting Asen Newell, which I think is a perfect addition to the Hawks front court depth. He fits extremely well with Trae Young. He can catch lobs, set screens, maybe even do the pick and pop, and a good defender. And I think they were reportedly targeting him at 13 anyways. Then trading down, getting a valuable pick, and getting that player you want, just great night for the Hawks. My next winner are the Orlando Magic and Jace Richardson. I think this is a perfect match for both sides. Richardson, I think, is a good spot for him. He can kind of play a bit more off ball along Paolo, Franz, Suggs, Bain, and his defensive liability can be covered by all the other great Magic defenders they have. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, all of those guys. He fell a lot in the draft, and I think he could potentially be the biggest steal of the draft even. I had him ranked in my top 15 as a prospect, and them falling at 25, great addition for the Magic. It provides them with shooting, it provides them with some guard depth after Cole Anthony was traded. I think he can kind of take over that role, do a bit of like scoring off the bench, while being a better shooter than Cole definitely was. They also drafted Noah Pinda in the second round. I think he fits very well into the Magic culture. He has versatile defense, and I think is one of the better defenders out the gate. The question is his offense. If he can't develop, I think he'll be out of the league. But taking a swing like that for their forward depth, I think is amazing. They did trade a couple more second round picks to get him, but overall, they don't really need them. They have a lot of picks. They have like 9 picks going forward, second round picks. So I don't think they need them. He fits well in their culture, gives them some good depth behind Isaac, who isn't safe due to his contract. Tristan Silva, who showed promise, but it's not the best. Overall, I'm just a big fan of the Magic offseason, their draft picks, the Desmond Bain trade. I hope they maybe add another shooter in free agency, just a vet that can maybe not play playoff minutes, but just give you some regular season shooting. Just overall big fan of the Magic's offseason. Next up, another big winner are the Sacramento Kings. They held no first round draft pick, but traded in to the first round with the 24th pick from the Thunder. They gave up a 2027 San Antonio first round pick, projected 1 through 16, which will probably convey, but it'll be in the late 20s in my opinion. San Antonio will be a good team by then. And the Kings just get a good pick for a bad pick, essentially. The pick they took, Nick Clifford. Great value, one of the most NBA ready players in the draft, and it gives the Kings a player mold they've kind of lacked. This kind of Swiss Army knife, do it all type of guy. They have some good scores, but they have this need for a true role player that will hustle, grab rebounds, and just play good defense, shoot the three ball hopefully well. Hopefully in the offseason they trade DeRozan for maybe a point guard somewhere. I don't know where. I think it's hard, but it's probably the ideal fit. And yeah, did he know with that draft day suit? He wore that all purple suit. It looked like he knew. But anyway, good pick. They also selected Maxime Renault in the second round at pick 42. I think he's the steal of the draft. I had him going in the first round to the Boston Celtics. He's a great value. He brings a good big man depth behind Sabonis. Valanciunas wasn't the greatest. He's getting up there. I think it's just a good pick. It allows him to space the floor, which also potentially means he can play alongside Sabonis. Sabonis kind of revert back to that 4 that he played at Indiana at times. Yeah. Overall, just a great move around the margins by the new GM Scott Perry, who's done a pretty good job so far, and I think it's helping the Kings. I think their future is still questionable, but it's definitely a good night they had. Next, for me, another winner, the Utah Jazz. I think people were scared of drafting Bailey because of his pre-workouts. He didn't do all the workouts. He tried to force himself to a certain destination. But I think Danny Ainge just put his balls on the table and he said, fuck it, let me draft this guy. He's potentially the second, third best player, and I think the Jazz, who are looking for their franchise player, he could be one. He could definitely be one. I think he'll play. You hear all of that stuff with him not flying to Utah. I think he'll play. I think that's just some PR that the media is trying to do something. Not every first round pick is already at their team. It happens. But I think it was just a good choice and a good value pick. They also got Walter Clayton Jr., which I'm a big fan of. He was one of the most productive college players, and he's a 4-year guy. He's a senior. He's ready to play, and he can help the Jazz bat shooting. Getting them some more guard depth is questionable, so they probably have to trade someone like Sexton, hopefully Clarkson. But he's an NBA ready player, and it just shows the Jazz, who tanked a lot last season and didn't get rewarded, then maybe they're also going to start trying a bit more. They also took John Tondre late in the second round. He's the oldest player in the draft, 24. Could help bring some maturity, ironically as a rookie, to that young Jazz core, as he's older than like half their roster, which is kind of insane. And if they trade more vets, he'll probably be one of the older players as a rookie. And yeah, It's just a good kind of do-it-all role player that could potentially be in the NBA, but I'm not too high on him. I don't know that much about him, to be honest. Next up, I think one of the probably the biggest draft winner, the Phoenix Suns. I can't believe I'm saying this, but finally the Suns front office, they cooked. They did some great stuff, which is not what they've been doing recently. They drafted Kaman Maluach at 10 from that KD trade. It just really helps their center depth. Great center, good potential, good long term. And because he might not be perfect on day one, they also traded for Mark Williams. They used their number 29 pick, which I'm totally fine with. They sent him to the Hornets, another future first, which isn't that good, and Vasaya Micic contract, and they got Mark Williams. I think he'll be good right now. Yes, there are some injury concerns. The Lakers tried trading for him. They were like, fuck no, that body's not good. The Suns apparently, they like his body more. And yeah, I think it's a good addition for them. They also traded for pick 31 with future seconds. They took Rasheer Fleming, the biggest steal of the second round, basically. He's the best player in the second round. I had him going like number 18 or something. Just great fit. It gives them more forward. That's something they need. Yeah. They also drafted another shooter at pick 41. It might be another shooting guard, which Suns definitely have enough. But I think he's more of a solid off-ball shooter. I think he will stick in the league as he's probably top 3 shooter, top 5 shooter at minimum in the draft. And yeah, I think what they did there is provide him with some hope that they can kind of retool around Booker. Maybe when that Bradley Beal contract runs out, maybe they even manage to trade him. I think they definitely need to trade either him or Jalen Green. Jalen Green being the more likely one. It gives me some future for that franchise. Last but not least, I have the LA Clippers. It's not a very exciting draft, I'll be honest, but I think it's extremely underrated. They took Yannick Konan-Niederhauser with the last pick of the first round. And even though I didn't have him in my top 30, I think he's a good positional need. I think he'll fit well into that Clippers offense. I think he can work well with Harden. He's a late draft riser. He has all the tools to be a good rotational pick. And I think he can be that second big man behind Zubac straight away. He has like good athleticism. He can catch lobs. Great fit, I think. They also acquired Kobe Sanders at pick 15. He's a tall guard. And I think he has a potential to play point guard at the next level. It's questionable. Maybe he's going to play some off ball. But in an ideal world where the Clippers, they need some point guard backup minutes behind Harden. 6'7", amazing size. He could be forced to play the wing position, obviously. But I honestly prefer him as a point guard. He works the pick and roll well. Could work well with Yannick Konan-Niederhauser or Zubac. But we'll have to wait and see. But I really like these guys. These are some of the more underrated picks, in my opinion. Maybe not very flashy, but underrated for sure. And that's it for the video. If you watched this far, you may as well subscribe to my channel now. Leave a like while you're at it. Make sure to drop some suggestions for videos you'd like to see in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next videos.